Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Nicole Long. We start tonight in Chenango County, where several members of the Department of Public Works are facing penalties following an illegal strike that took place in November of 2024. 12 News' Brian Melanson is in the studio to tell us more. Brian?
Thanks, Nicole. 16 members of the Chenango County Department of Public Works are either on administrative leave, suspended, or facing payroll deductions following a strike. I spoke with Chenango County officials to find out more details and what the ramifications will be for these individuals moving forward. It's a strike that left the majority of roads unplowed and residents stranded.
It's a public safety issue first and foremost, and also it was an illegal job action.
According to a report on the public works strike by the Chenango Board of Supervisors, back on November 18th of 2024, a tentative agreement was reached and signed by parties representing Chenango County and the Civil Service Employees Association group that represents employees of the Chenango County Department of Public Works. In interviews conducted by Zachary Wentworth, Chenango County attorney, and Matthew Caldwell, Chenango County personnel officer, quote, several individuals interviewed indicated that they were insulted by the terms of the agreement, revolving around the pay increase schedule.
We believe it was mostly the wage structure that was negotiated and agreed to by both the county and the negotiators on the union's side of the negotiating table.
The report says 2 days after the agreement was signed, a meeting occurred in the DPW garage that revolved around the decision to intentionally not come into work during an upcoming snowstorm. During that meeting, DPW employees were asked to indicate by a show of hands who would answer their phone if called early on November 22nd. No hands were raised. The report states that there is no written policy that employees have 1 hour to report to the DPW garage upon receiving a phone call. However, in the report, Department of Public Works Director Harold Franklin indicated that this had been standard procedure for snow removal for 33 years. When a snowstorm ultimately hit the county on the evening of November 21st, all 17 available motor equipment operators were called in to help. Ultimately, only 4 drivers reported for plowing operations. As a result of not participating when called, the quote, non-action of the employees is considered a strike.
Under the Taylor Law, which is part of the New York State Civil Service Law, public employees are deemed to have participated in a strike. The terminology they use is if they fail to perform their entire duty in the normal manner, either in whole or in part.
The drivers who did not show up when they were called in and instead showed up at normal shift time are now facing sanctions, along with 3 supervisors.
Under the law, we have a whole wide variety of possible sanctions. And you'll see the report as well. For most of the drivers, it's going to be a payroll deduction. For a couple people, it is going to be termination, or we're moving in that direction.
And Wentworth tell 12 News that they are disappointed in the route that the workers took to express their discontent, but that they are willing to return to the negotiating table to get a favorable agreement for both the county and the union employees. I'm Brian Melanson, 12 News.